Morning everyone. How are you all? Hope you are all fine. This is your social science teacher Mr. Ismail. My dear children, we were concentrating towards the chapter called Advent of Europeans to India. Whereas in the previous class we were discussing about the competition between French and English in India. So before moving towards the competition in between of French and English, so we need to concentrate towards the initial days, which are the countries were entered in India. First one, Portuguese people, they entered in India in the year of 1498. Then after following the Portuguese, Dutch people came. Then after following the Dutch, English or British we can call. Then at lastly French people visited to India. Overall, right now we can find that up to the year of 1600, up to the year of 1700 2024, we can find that in entire the India, the 4 different countries were there. But after the 1724 onwards, the picture of India, it is completely changed. The reason is very simple. Where we are noticing about the Portuguese people's step. The Portuguese, where they were ruling in initial days, the Goa they have captured, and they had taken almost all the sea routes in their control, and everything else was going perfectly alright for the perfectly alright for the Portuguese people. But after some time, when they come to know, when they realize that even the Dutch people entered, it was a bit problematic for the Portuguese people. Now the Dutch people, they were the good competitor to the Portuguese people, because we can see, if I am around 60 kilo, or if I am the 60 kg person, then I can compete in against of a 60 to 65 kg person only. I cannot compete with a 100 or 110 kg person, because I know very well that if I am competing against him, I am going to lose it out. Though my willpower, it may be a strong one, but the strength I need. So same manner, the competition, it was there in between of the Portuguese and the Dutch, and that competition, it was a healthy, we can call it out. But when after the Dutch, when the English people entered into India, the Portuguese people started to move back. Even the Dutch people also started to move back. The reason is very simple. In European continent or in European countries, already the English people, they have shown their strength to the world. They were the strongest one. Then Portuguese people, they decided to be settled down in the single place which they have conquered from the ruler of Vijaypur, or Bijapur we can call, in the year of 1510. What's the place? What's the place name? Goa. So then the Portuguese people decided to settle down in Goa itself. Whereas the Dutch people, they too also decided the same things. It's better to withdraw the idea of India. So better to drop out the India here itself, need not to continue to rule over the India. Let's move back towards the same continent, same countries where we have started our business. So the countries like as the Sumatra, then again Indonesia. So these are the countries they just concentrated, Java. So on these countries they concentrated and turned back towards that. Now the competition initially it was among the 4. Now the competition held only in between of 2. One is English and another one is French. English and the French, or we can call Britishers and the French people. So this competition, I can call it is for the tit for tat, I can call. An eye for an eye, I can call it out, because these two members are equivalent one. Even the English was also the never less than the French, and whereas the French were also never less than the English. So in such a manner the competition, it was there in between of these two. Whereas when they were fighting for a good opportunity to get and to continue their ruling or to maintain the dominancy over the India, then all of suddenly, or I must have to tell you that as an opportunity for them, they got a bless from the God. I must have to say these things, because here in India, the Indian rulers, especially the Hyderabad and the Carnatic rulers, they got a clash among themselves. They got a fight among themselves. Clash or the fight, how it has held, let's concentrate towards that. Already we have discussed in our previous class, but one more time we will glance it out. Whereas in the year of 1724, Asaf Jah, the new ruler of Hyderabad, or else Asaf Jah has made Hyderabad as the new dynasty for him. Asaf Jah was the new ruler of Hyderabad, and in the year of 1724 he declared Hyderabad as the new dynasty for the Asaf Jah. So before this, Asaf Jah was the ruler of a Carnatic. I must have to tell you this Carnatic, it is not at all a Karnataka. Carnatic, it is called as the eastern part of a Tamil Nadu. Tamilians, eastern part, it can be called as a Carnatic. Now, the Carnatic is one side, at another side we can find a Hyderabad. So one single ruler, he cannot rule over the two places at a time. So then Hyderabad ruler Asaf Jah thought for a while that it's better to appoint one more person over the Carnatic as a king, and he should be the puppet only. Whatever my orders will be there, only he must have to listen. So in search of that, so when he was in search of such kind of a person, then he got one of the loyal person to him. He was the trustworthy to him, and his name is Dost Ali. So Dost Ali has been declared as the new ruler for the Carnatic only for the naam ke vaste. So later on, when the Dost Ali has become a new ruler of a Carnatic, then the Dost Ali's attitude have completely changed. The favor of a Dost Ali, it is completely changed. He was in the different world itself. He started to dominating over the Carnatic, and he made the words of Asaf Jah, Hyderabad's Nawab's words, he made least bothered one. He was not at all carrying the words of Asaf Jah's. Then not only these things were taken place, even Dost Ali, he started to loot the Carnatic. In Carnatic, whatever the wealth or whatever the land property, everything else were there. No? Then slowly he just started to take it on his name. He was looting the things. About these things, when the Asaf Jah come to know, then he just requested, or he asked the Dost Ali to give up the place or give up the throne and move away from that land. So then the Dost Ali, one who has already tasted the taste of kingship, then how can he give it up? So then Dost Ali declared, I am not at all ready to give up the dynasty. Let us see that who is having the strength, he can be a conquered one. So this might be, I am assuming these things, okay? These might be the words of a Dost Ali. Then Asaf Jah, he started to make a proper planning against the Dost Ali. Then Asaf Jah took the support of Marathas. Asaf Jah took a support of Marathas, and in the year of 1740, Asaf Jah, he has given order to the Marathas for attacking on the Dost Ali. Then Marathas attacked on Dost Ali and they killed him. Now Dost Ali died. Marathas attacked on Dost Ali and they killed him. This Dost Ali had as a minister in his courtier, his name is Chanda Sahib, and this Chanda Sahib was none other than Dost Ali's son-in-law. Chanda Sahib was none other than Dost Ali's son-in-law. So whereas Dost Ali died by the hands of Marathas, and now the Chanda Sahib remained. So whereas the Marathas are thinking that better to imprison this Chanda Sahib, better to keep him in the jail for a longer time. So then the Marathas decided to imprison the Chanda Sahib, and they thrown him into the jail. Now Chanda Sahib remained in the jail. Dost Ali, where is he? He has died. Dost Ali has died. Chanda Sahib is in the jail. Now entire the Carnatic region become an empty because there is no ruler. So then again the Asaf Jah thought that it is better, I must have to appoint a person to be the ruler of Carnatic. Then he has appointed a person to be the ruler, and that person name is Anwaruddin. The person name is Anwaruddin. So here you need to remember two most important names, my dear children. One is Chanda Sahib and another one is Anwaruddin. So these two names, please keep it in your mind, because these names we are going to face it out the next classes of ours. Now let's concentrate towards the first Carnatic War. When it has held, then what is the reason for the first Carnatic War? These all the things we'll concentrate. So the first Carnatic War, it held in the year of 1746 and it ended in the year of 1748. The first Carnatic War, it held in the year of 1746 and it ended in the year of 1748. So let's concentrate towards the few points in the first Carnatic War. What are the main reasons for this? But before moving towards the reasons and all, we'll concentrate we'll come back to the same point where we have stopped, and I asked you to remember the two names. So one is the name of Chanda Sahib and another one is the name of who? Anwaruddin. Why I have asked you these things? Those all the things we are going to concentrate here. In the first Carnatic War, you can understand very easily then what is the connection in between of Anwaruddin and Chanda Sahib, and why we have to remember that all the things are there in the first Carnatic War. Let's concentrate towards this, which is first Carnatic War held in the year of 1746 and ended in the year of 1748. Let's concentrate towards the point number 1. On the request of a Duplex, Lord Ordinance, a French military leader invaded Madras and captured it. Very common things that. Now see that. Now the French, it started to ruled by the French people. They are just ruling over the India. French people are ruling over the India. And not only these things, the French, they were having one of the dominant leader or the viceroy of the French, we can call his name is Duplex. As I have told you, the Duplex, he was a very strongest person among the French. Now the Duplex is making a proper planning against of the Britishers, and he just wanted to defeat the Britishers at hook or crook. So then the Duplex, he invited or he requested one of his friend, one who belongs to the military commanding, or he is the leader of a military force of the French. And this leader, he was there in the Mauritius. So Duplex requested Lord Ordinance, the person to whom we are calling as the leader of the French. So he was ruling, or he was leading at the place called Mauritius. So Duplex requested him to attack on the Madras. Now already the Madras, it was there in the control of Britishers. When it has fallen in the control of Britishers, say when the British people, they have defeated the ruler of Chandragiri. When they have defeated the ruler of Chandragiri, and from him they have captured the Madras. And Madras was the most prominent place for the Britishers. Now the Duplex main idea is take away the Madras from the Britishers. Therefore, he requested one of his friend, his name is Lord Ordinance. He was the leader of French military commander, and he was the ruler of Mauritius. When he has requested, as on the request, Lord Ordinance entered on Madras and he defeated the Britishers, and from Britishers he captured Madras. Now Madras has fallen in the control of French, but not in the control of Duplex. Madras, it was in the control of French, but it was not at all in the control of Duplex. Still Madras was there in the control of Lord Ordinance only. He has not at all handed over it to the Duplex. Then what happened? So this forced the helpless Britishers to take a support of Anwaruddin. So when the British people, they lost the Madras place from their hand, now the Britishers were really helpless. They were not at all having that much of armed force. They were not at all having that much of the weapons and other things to fight against the Lord Ordinance. So then they decided to take a support from the local ruler, and they suddenly got aware about Anwaruddin. So this Anwaruddin was the ruler of Carnatic. He was the ruler of Carnatic. Even the Madras was also in the control of, though the Madras was there in the control of Britishers, but it was coming under the dynasty of Anwaruddin itself. Now the Britishers moved to the Anwaruddin and they requested him for his support. So now the Anwaruddin, he was ready for supporting the Britishers, and somehow else he arranged, it means Anwaruddin, he arranged what you can call it, a branch of soldiers to fight against Lord Ordinance. So Anwaruddin sent his own army to fight against Lord Ordinance and defeat the Lord Ordinance and get Madras from him. But unfortunately, because of a lack of training of Anwaruddin's soldiers, we can call, so Anwaruddin's soldiers are defeated by the hands of a Lord Ordinance, and they were not at all able to capture the Madras from him. So then Britishers decided it is better to pay certain amount, because they understood that Lord Ordinance is the money-minded person. So then the Britishers decided to pay certain amount to the Lord Ordinance and take it back or purchase the Madras again. So then the Britishers, they presented a huge booty of amount. They produced huge number of amount to the Lord Ordinance, and Lord Ordinance took the money from the Britishers and handed over the Madras to Britishers itself. Now see that the Duplex was the person one who requested the Lord Ordinance, and he called him for attacking on the Madras. His intention is to defeat the Britishers. Now you can understand that the Duplex's best friend Lord Ordinance was the money-minded person. when the Britishers were ready for paying certain amount, the big booty when they were ready to produce, so then Lord Ordinance he accepted that money, and in place of that money he handed over the Madras to them, and he went back to the Mauritius. So this matter it enraged, or it made Duplex to be feel very angry against the Britishers. So then the Duplex decided to attack on the Britishers directly, and he wanted to capture Madras one more time from the hands of Britishers. So now the Duplex he arranged his soldiers and he attacked on the Madras, but unfortunately the British soldiers were much stronger than the Duplex's soldiers. So Duplex got a defeat in that war, and finally this war it ended with the treaty called Aix-la-Chapelle. And this treaty held in European countries. Actually this treaty it is not at all held in India. This treaty it held in the European countries, especially at a place called as Aix-la-Chapelle. So therefore the first Carnatic war ended with the treaty, or the agreement we can call, with the treaty of Aix-la-Chapelle. Hope you are understanding the things. So in tomorrow's class we are going to concentrate towards the support, to whom they are going to support it out, and how they are going to be get diversifying. One thing you can understand, that Anwaruddin supported the Britishers to capture for capturing the Madras, but though the Anwaruddin failed, we can understand that when the Anwaruddin was supporting the Britishers, then definitely the Britishers will support to Anwaruddin. Okay. Now the Chanda Sahib is remaining empty. So this Chanda Sahib he will get a complete support from the French. We'll concentrate about it in the next class. Till then, please stay safe. Thank you.